Hello everyone, welcome to the practical tutorial of Pharmaceutics 1. In this video we are going to prepare and dispense boric acid suppositories containing cocoa butter as base. So first of all, what is suppositories? Suppositories are solid dosage forms which are meant to be inserted into different body cavities such as vagina, rectum or urethra, where they melt or softens to dissolve to exert the local or systemic effects of the medicine. Now, how suppositories are prepared? So they are usually prepared using bases like cocoa butter, glycerinated gelatin or polyethylene glycols that help in the release of the drug by melting at body temperature or dissolving in the mucosal fluids. We will understand the step-by-step procedure of how to formulate the suppositories in lab. So first of all, we will wash and clean the suppository mold with water and detergent if it is necessary. Then we will lubricate the suppository mold with liquid paraffin and we will place it on an inverted ice so that to drain the excess amount of lubricant from the suppository mold. Then we will place it into the refrigerator to make the suppository mold cool. Then we will weigh the required quantity of cocoa butter by considering the displacement value of boric acid and we will transfer it into the porcelain dish. Now we will heat the porcelain dish on water bath and until the 2/3 portion of the cocoa butter gets melted, and here we will avoid the overheating of cocoa butter. Now we will remove the porcelain dish once 2/3 part of the cocoa butter gets melted, and then we will thoroughly stir the remaining portion of cocoa butter so it gets completely melted. Then pour the required quantity of boric acid into the porcelain dish which contains cocoa butter and we will stir it to disperse the boric acid into the cocoa butter. Now we will pour this dispersion into the cavities of the suppository mold in excess quantity till it gets overfilled, and we will place the mold on ice for at least half an hour. After half an hour, we will remove the suppository's mold from the ice and we will scrape the excess quantity after the solidification using knife or blade, and we will open the mold to remove the suppositories from the mold. To understand the calculative portion of suppositories, so here we have already given the standard quantity of boric acid which is 120 mg and the standard quantity of cocoa butter as base which is 1 gram. So whenever we are preparing suppositories which contains the cocoa butter as base, we will take 2 extra suppositories weight because of, as we saw in the procedure previously, that we are overfilling the suppository mold with that dispersion, right? So when we are overfilling it, we will expect some wastage of loss of materials. So we will take the weight of 2 extra suppositories whenever we are measuring this material. Calculate the suppositories calculation according to the 10 suppositories. So for 10 suppositories, we have already given the standard formula. So for boric acid, we have 120 mg of boric acid. We want to make 10 suppositories. So we will do 120 into 10, which is 1200 mg, which is 1.2 grams. So here we got working formula 1.2 grams. So we will weigh 1.2 gram of boric acid for 10 suppositories, and we will do the same calculation for cocoa butter as base. So we have 1 gram of standard formula. So for 10 suppositories, 1 and 10. So we got 10 gram of cocoa butter. So we have to weigh 10 gram of cocoa butter as base. The working formula for boric acid, which is 1.2 gram. Cocoa butter, which is 10 gram. But here we have to consider the displacement value of boric acid. So the displacement value of boric acid is 1.5. The displacement value of boric acid, that is 1.5. So it means 1 part of boric acid will displace 1.5 part of cocoa butter base. gram of cocoa butter. So we divide 1.2 upon 1.5, which is 0.8 gram. Of cocoa butter as base. Required to prepare 10 suppositories is so we will minus 0. So we will require 9.4 gram of cocoa butter as base to prepare 10 gram of 10 suppositories.
Firstly, you will wash and clean the suppository molds with water, and if necessary, you can use detergent.
Now we will lubricate the mold with the liquid paraffin. The reason for lubricating is so that we can easily remove suppository from the mold. Now we will place this in a ice in an inverted way so that the excessive liquid paraffin will be removed.
Now we will weigh the required quantity of cocoa butter on a butter paper, that is 9.2 grams. Now we'll place the cocoa butter in a porcelain dish, and the porcelain dish will go into the water bath until the 2/3 portion of it melts. Avoid overheating of cocoa butter and continuously stir it with a glass rod.
Weigh 1.2 gram of boric acid and transfer into a porcelain dish which contains cocoa butter.
Now remove the porcelain dish which contains partly malted butter and add boric acid to it. And stir it continuously.
The lubricated mold from the ice. Pour the dispersion in a suppository mold until it gets over. Place the mold in a ice for half an hour.
After the solidification, remove the suppositories from the mold. Here is the final formulation.